Welcome to Smart Stock Watch, your go-to channel for in-depth financial analysis. Today is December 10th, 2024, and we're diving into Genasys' fiscal fourth quarter and full year 2024 financial results. Joining us is John, senior analyst from Smart Stock Watch. John, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Genasys, a leader in protective communications solutions, has just released their latest earnings report, and there's a lot to unpack, especially with their record fiscal 2024 bookings and strategic contracts.
Revenue and profitability overview. Let's start with the top line. Genasys reported a revenue of $6.7 million for the fourth quarter, a significant drop from $10.7 million in the same quarter last year. John, what are the key factors behind this decline?
The decline in revenue is primarily due to a 51.9% decrease in hardware sales, which was partially offset by a 92.4% increase in software revenue. The gross profit margin also fell to 40.8% from 49.6% last year, reflecting the lower hardware sales, which typically have lower margins compared to software.
And how did this impact their profitability?
Genasys reported a GAAP net loss of $11.4 million for the quarter, slightly worse than the $10.1 million loss in the previous year. This was driven by increased operating expenses, particularly in selling, general, and administrative costs, as well as research and development.
Strategic contracts and business highlights. Despite the challenges, Genasys has achieved some significant milestones. Can you tell us more about their strategic contracts and business highlights?
Absolutely. Genasys recorded $111 million in bookings for fiscal 2024, a record for the company. The most notable contract is the $75 million deal for the Puerto Rico dam project. This, along with other contracts, has set them up with a $40 million backlog as they enter fiscal 2025, indicating strong future revenue potential.
How do these contracts position Genasys for the future?
These contracts, especially the Puerto Rico dam project, are pivotal. They not only boost the backlog, but also provide a solid foundation for revenue growth in fiscal 2025. The company is also seeing a rebound in international and law enforcement hardware bookings, which bodes well for their future performance.
Operational efficiencies and future outlook. John, let's talk about operational efficiencies and the future outlook for Genasys. What are the key points here?
Genasys has seen a significant increase in operating expenses, up to $9.9 million from $7.9 million in the previous year. This is largely due to investments in their software capabilities, which have paid off with a 92.4% growth in software revenue. Their cash position is also strong, with $13.1 million as of the end of September 2024.
What does the future hold for Genasys?
The company is optimistic about fiscal 2025, with expectations of substantial growth in hardware revenues driven by their recent contracts. However, they anticipate a moderation in software revenue growth as they integrate Evertel's results and normalize their growth relative to resource allocation.
EPS forecast and analyst expectations. Now let's discuss the earnings per share. Analysts had forecasted an EPS of $1.11. How did Genasys perform in this regard?
Genasys reported a GAAP EPS of 20 cents for the fourth quarter, which is below the forecasted -11 cents. This miss is largely due to the lower-than-expected hardware revenues and increased operating expenses. Their adjusted EBITDA also came in at -$6 million, reflecting these challenges.
What does this mean for investors?
While the EPS miss is concerning, the company's strategic contracts and backlog provide a positive outlook. Investors should weigh the short-term challenges against the long-term growth potential from their recent bookings and contracts.
Key takeaways. In summary, Genasys faced a challenging fiscal 2024 with a significant drop in revenue and a wider net loss. However, their record bookings and strategic contracts, particularly the Puerto Rico dam project, position them well for future growth. John, any final thoughts?
Genasys is at a pivotal point. While the financials for 2024 were tough, the groundwork laid with their contracts and backlog could lead to a strong fiscal 2025. Investors should keep an eye on their execution in the coming quarters.
Thank you, John, for your insights. And thank you to our viewers for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Smart Stock Watch for more financial analyses. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Genasys's performance in the comments below.